Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. And today I want to do a quick video giving you my 2 cents or my opinion on what I think is the best smart plug on the market. When I say best, that is going to be very subjective, but let's face it, I've reviewed a lot of smart plugs on the channel. To date, I've reviewed what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different brands of smart plugs. And I have to tell you, in all honesty, they all, for the most part, do the same thing. There's really not one that performs any better than the other ones. They're all limited on distance, of course, so you have to have a pretty strong router. Or no, I shouldn't say a pretty strong router, but remember, if you have a very strong router sending out a 2.4 gigahertz signal, which most routers are dual band nowadays, if you are sending out that 2.4 gigahertz signal, which is, I know some of you might come back and say, oh, why not get a 5 gigahertz plug? Nobody makes, to my knowledge, any 5 gigahertz plugs, and 2.4 is a much better frequency for penetrating through walls and has a better distance. Now, the only thing is, when it comes to Wi-Fi, is that even though that the signal may be reaching the plug still has to communicate back. And so, in my home, I'm using an ASUS router for 5 gigahertz, and a few 2.4 devices like some cameras, and then I'm using a Ubiquiti AP Pro, which has been awesome, super reliable, kills the ASUS on devices you can hook up to it. It's rock solid, it's stable. I love Ubiquiti products. Definitely check out those if you're going to be adding a lot of devices to your network. But again, it has to be within distance. So in my home, I'm about 1,300 square feet, not including the garage. I have devices in the garage. I have an outdoor access point and 2 access points inside the house. I have no problems with distance in these products communicating. You know, like I said, they all pretty much do the same thing. But there is one. I'm going to show you. I have 4 of them here. I'm going to mention one other one. And I'll give you my 2 cents on which one I think you guys should buy, especially in this day and age of technology and we're around in the holiday season. This is my opinion, the best smart plug on the market that you can buy that's fully featured and very cost effective. Now, the cheapest one that I've reviewed in the past, and I still am a big fan of, is a plug by Sonoff. And Sonoff plugs you can get when you get them on sale for like $4.50 to $5 per plug. They work great. The only problem is with them is that you actually have to get an extension cord and cut the extension cord and wire that cord in on both sides to the plug. So you end up having this device that's got a plug in the middle. It'd be like this guy right here with 2 big wires hanging out each side. You plug in one and you have your outlet on the other side, which is okay if you want to have multiple devices plugged into it and turn multiple lamps on or off. If you have a couple end table lamps or bed lamps, that might be a good option for you. But again, the Sonoff plugs only work with the Sonoff app. So, and really a lot of their products, their in-wall products and other different things that they have, really, you know, in the United States, we don't really use a lot of those things. Most people either want a wall switch, which I haven't seen them make anything that actually is just a new wall switch. It's kind of things you have to hardwire in. A little more complicated. A lot of you might not, you know, it is easy to hook a Sonoff plug up to an extension cord. But some of you may say, yeah, I don't want to be bothered with doing that. Plus, the cost of the extension cord is roughly about $1.50, $1.60 with tax. So you're getting close to the price of what just your standard plug-in module or your standard smart socket will cost. So, and again, I always like to get anything that works with Smart Life because it is, as far as the different apps out there and the different products, it is the one that really plays with a lot of different devices well, where some of the other ones, like I'm going to show you, really have to use their app. So it's another app on your phone. You may not have a phone with a lot of storage. I know I upgraded my phone because I was running out of room, and so something to consider. So the first one I want to share with you guys, this one here is by Elf. And this is a product they sent me a while back, and I never used it because it's pretty much a standard smart plug. And I'll have another one here that I'll show you. This is made by, I forget who makes this. That sucks. I'll put a link in the description. I forget because a lot of these things have, again, they're very similar to other products out there, or other smart sockets, but the same company makes the same plug just with a different name. So this one here is actually, the Elf one's one that I've never used because it's the only plug that I have, the only socket, and you have to use the Elf app. Whereas plugs like the iView plug, this plug right here, And of course, the new Tekken plug I want to share with you guys, I just did a review on, work with Smart Life. So, and as you look at different plugs out there, if you're shopping around, you're going to find that most of the plugs out there will work with Smart Life, and Smart Life works with a lot of different brands. So I do recommend getting a plug that works with Smart Life, but also a plug that's going to give you a little more for your money. If you're looking for cool factor, and again, I'll put a link in the description, this one is an RGB. I don't recommend the ELF plug just because it doesn't really do anything that any of the other ones do. They're more expensive than any of the other plugs out there, and I think they were just a little bit too late to the game to really kind of, I guess, be a big player in the smart home tech devices. So that one I don't recommend, again, because that's the only thing, that's the only product they make is the ELF plug, and you have to use their app just for one socket. The other thing about the round ones, although they do look small, depending on what you're going to be plugging into the outlet, you may not be able to fit anything else in the outlet. If you have a big socket or something, it may not fit. So that's what to think about there. But this one here is pretty cool because it's an RGB night light as well. So this thing, you can actually go into the app, control this ring, which kind of mimics what the Echo Dot looks like. Green, blue, RGB, whatever color you want. You have a little bit of night light. Power button on the side, which is pretty cool. But if you're not really going to use it for a night light, and let me tell you, it's more of an ambient light. It really doesn't produce any light. It just makes the plug noticeable. Almost like a marker. You know, if you're walking into a completely dark room, you'd know that there was a wall there. Okay? So the next plug here is another one that was sent to me a while back. And again, these are unmarked, so I don't really know what the brand is, but I will go into my other videos, find the link, and link all these with the name in description. This was kind of a cool one because they put a lot of the mass of the plug up top. You have a small status light right here, which will tell you whether you're connected to Wi-Fi or not, or when you're setting this up, it'll flash in really fast in pairing mode. You have a power button on top, which is pretty much standard, and you have a USB port. So that's kind of cool. You get a secondary power charger, basically. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm always looking for another USB adapter. I'm always either losing them or I just never seem to have enough. So that's great, but the only thing is that you have to put this in the upper outlet. And of course, you will be able to use the lower outlet, but it is pretty big. It's not the nicest looking plug in the world, but it is functional and it works. And it does work with the Smart Life app, and so does the RGB one. The next one I want to share with you guys, I forgot to take out of the drawer here. This was another one by a company called eTech City. Again, very, very similar. You have a status light on the side. Again, your 3-prong plug, they all have that on the back. Your power button. And this one here does something called power monitoring. So it'll tell you how much power that your device is using, and you can monitor that based on, I think you can actually set this to actually turn off the power in the event that you go over your threshold. So, I mean, really in today's day and age, it's not really... It's kind of a cool feature if you're going to plug maybe something that draws a lot of wattage, but let's face it, even if you plug a coffee maker into this, I mean, does it really matter in today's day and age how much we're spending on making coffee? I mean, if you can afford to have Smart Life in your house, you're not really too concerned with how much power it's using, okay? That's just my opinion. So, and then the last, and this you have to use the eTech City app. It is the only app these plugs will work with. So again, another app on your phone. Another thing you have to think, okay, I want to turn on these lights. What app am I going to use? So again, it's nice to have one app for everything. Now, my favorite of the smart plugs to date that I've reviewed, and very cost effective, and I know I didn't tell you guys the price on these, but you'll find it in the links if you want to check out each one. This is the best one, I think, right now to date. This is made by Tekken. It is compatible with Smart Life, which is great. You have a power button, which is a combination status light. And what I love about this is a horizontal plug. So all the meat goes off to the right of the outlet. You can stack two of these, one on top of the other. It's clean, it's sleek, it looks nice, and you get a USB power adapter at 2.1 amps. The other great thing about this, when you go into the Smart Life app, whatever you're gonna plug into this, you have the ability to turn these on or off independently. So this switch will actually work with just the socket itself, but if you go into the app, you can actually turn off the USB port as well. So if you had a device plugged into it, maybe a cooling fan, I'm not really sure what device, I'd probably just use it to charge a cell phone. You might plug in a smart camera into that, and if you want to reboot the camera, you can kill the power if you had a problem with it. But if it's a USB power adapter, it'll work, 2.1 amps. You're getting really two products for the price of one. Price on this, only $27 for two, shipped to your house through the link in the description, or you get 4 for $45. So competitively priced compared to the other ones. This today is my favorite smart plug. I think that this is the best design and gives you the most for your money. And again, all these plugs are compatible with iOS and Android. So there it is, folks. This will be at the top of the list. I encourage you in this nice holiday, this holiday season, if you have somebody who's into tech in your life and they like this kind of stuff, it's a great way to add some smart home automation to your house, really on the cheap. So check it out. Let me know if you guys have any questions. As always, guys, have a wonderful day. Subscribe to the channel and take care.